todos. El día de hoy la conferencia será en inglés. Gracias por estar aquí. Hello, everyone. Today the conference will be in English. Welcome to the Virtual Data Science Colloquium. Today we will have the presence of Natalie Fedorova from the TOLOKA organization. Thank you very much, Natalie, for being here with us. Natalie Fedorova is a team leader of academic programs at TOLOKA. She is in charge of establishing long-term collaborations with universities, research labs, and educational organizations. She is co-author of tutorials and workshops on efficient crowdsourcing and quality control at TU Delft, King Saudi University, courses for CUSO in Switzerland, and OI data in Israel. I give the floor to Natalie to tell us about data labeling on a large scale, the missing pillar of artificial intelligence. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much for the introduction. I cope with Zoom, and I think we can start. Thanks for coming, and of course, thanks for the organizers of the event for inviting us. We are very happy to be here. Thank you very much. Okay, let's start our journey. Let's start from the three pillars of the AI. And we all know that artificial intelligence is based on algorithms, hardware, and data. And when we talk about algorithms and hardware, we know what to do, where to go. But when we talk about data, we don't have much solutions. We need to find where to get data, because it's a very important part of AI. And today I will tell you more about data, more about approaches, how to get data. Why you need this lecture? First of all, you will learn how to apply crowdsourcing for your needs. Secondly, you will learn to quickly test your ideas, your hypotheses. And last but not least, you will learn how to optimize time and expenses. Here you can see the plan. And we will start to talk about data. Then we will have a general overview of crowdsourcing tasks. Then we will talk about cases from healthcare, from logistics, from environment protection. Then we will talk about crowd methodology. And last but not least, we will have real-time demo. I will be very happy if you ask any questions in chat, and I will answer your questions on the blue slides, not to split my talk, because it will be like a pause. And lots of people are joining us. And let's begin, I think. Okay, you know already some facts about me, but what is TOLOKA and who we are? First of all, TOLOKA is a crowdsourcing data labeling platform used by high-tech businesses to quickly label large amounts of data. And yet you can see on the slide some of our clients. And TOLOKA has 10 years experience with real industry. And here on the slide, you can see some products we work with, starting from search engine, voice assistant, to self-driving cars and e-commerce, food delivery, etc., etc. And that gives us lots of experience with technologies based on machine learning, and they all are based on TOLOKA as a data labeling platform. Moreover, we have some industrial expertise, but our colleagues also contribute lots of resources in research. we try to popularize crowd science within machine learning and data science community, and we organize lots of events. And the main achievement, I will say, it's our crowd science workshop at NARIPS, and we are very proud of it. And here you can see some of our conference and tutorials. Why it is important to learn crowdsourcing? First of all, data scientists spend more than 80% of the time preparing and managing data for the analysis. And it includes cleaning data, collecting data sets, etc., etc. It's not the interesting part of the work. And if you optimize it, you get more time to do something more interesting. When we talk about machine learning production pipeline, when we talk about training, validation, control, production, and retraining, all these steps includes human labeling, and it's very important to understand how to scale this work with human. And that's why it's also important to know some principles of crowdsourcing. Crowdsourcing is work with human. And we personally think that crowdsourcing is an effective way of scaling work with data, because humans bring you data, and when you know how to work with humans, you know how to work with data. And it's one of the important parts of machine learning. What's TOLOKA? Why we call our company TOLOKA? It's an ancient tradition when people try to focus, when people come together and try their efforts to do something very important. That, for example, they build a church, or they try to collect some harvest, and they cannot do it by themselves, but then they bring their efforts together, they get the result. And that's why it's very good metaphor of crowdsourcing. And TOLOKA, it's an open crowdsourcing platform. It's not the only, but it's one of the biggest in the world. And what is an open crowdsourcing platform? First of all, it's two-sided market. You have TOLOKers or performers who perform the tasks, and they need some general income, they need money, and requesters from the other side. They need the data, they need to collect some data, to gather some data, or to annotate the data, or just to find some solutions. And we as a platform give them technology. First of all, we bring them together, and we give an opportunity, just a second, we give an opportunity to get what they want. Requesters get high quality data, and performers, TOLOKers get the income. But it's also very important to not only to bring technology, but also bring methodology, like general principles, how to apply crowdsourcing, how to get properly your data labeled. And that's why we invest lots of popularizing methodology of crowdsourcing. We invest in science community, and that's why I'm talking to you today, because we bring methodology to and bring our expertise to the community. And that's why you see the trend of data labeling, and you also see why crowdsourcing is so important. And here you can see the TOLOKA's distribution, and TOLOKA is a very international company. It's like 100, it has like lots of languages, and you see the top countries with active TOLOKAs. And we have not only popular languages such as English and Spanish, but also Latvian, that is quite rare. And we have international platform. And here you can see some numbers that include active projects, daily paid TOLOKAs, etc., etc. But let's talk about something more relevant. Let's talk about use cases. And we will divide our use cases to 3 categories, like content collection, data annotation, and business decision-making and market research. Of course, content annotation and content collection and data annotation are the most popular in AI community. Let's start from content collection. When you have no data at all and you need to apply some techniques to collect data. Here are some facts that why it is important. And the first example is from every voice assistant. You need to collect very large amount of data to build your voice assistant. And Alisa, it's Yandex voice assistant, and it's the simplest pipeline for gathering content. You ask TOLOKAs to say, hey, Alisa. It's a general phrase to activate your voice assistant. Then you use post verification and you ask different TOLOKAs to answer if the phrase is correct. And when you get final result, you get like very big data set of phrases of voice activation, like say, hey, Alisa. The second example, very nice. Then you need to gather some content. Here on your slide, you can see just you ask TOLOKA to find some information about famous actor, or you can ask TOLOKAs, your performers, to find information, like you have some shop online and you want to find your competitors and the price of the same products of your competitors, and you can ask performer to do this. One of the nicest example is on-feed crowdsourcing. When you have the exact task on the exact location, and you ask TOLOKA to find, like, to perform some task. For example, during the pandemic, lots of businesses were closed, or some information about them were changed, new businesses opened, and you ask performers to go through streets and to just make a photo of the organization, find some work hours, for example, and it's a nice option to be in the same time. And someone want to ask a question, yeah?
Please let's say that the questions will be at the end of the speech, please, because as Jesus invite a lot of people, we don't have the control of who's entering in the conference. I have to block the chat and also the microphone, the audio, right? Thank you.
Okay. And it's an opportunity to be in multiple places at the same time. You can check products that placed and allocated on the shelf space. and you can monitor the ability of products in real time, analyze how products are distributed, and plan future promotion. And it's very nice opportunity for preparing on food task and to be in the same time in multiple places. Let's talk about data annotation. It's one of the most popular tasks for AI. First of all, it adds relevance evaluation, that you have some ads and you need to evaluate it, if it is good, excellent, or some junk. Object segmentation for computer vision also is very important. First of all, you have first picture is the segmentation of lakes, and second picture is segmentation for self-driving cars, and we'll talk about them later. And next example, it's spotting highlights on the video, when you can just find some, ask to find some exact moment or to outline some moments. Here is audio transcription, and it's also very popular. Some NLP related task, then, for example, you find the exact category of the phrase of the product. Then you have validation of auto-translate. For example, you work with different languages and you want to find if the translation is good enough when you use, for example, auto-translate, and it's also a very important part. And moderation of user-generated content. We live with social nets and we generate like dozens of content, and it's also important to moderate it. And last but not least category, about product decision-making and market research. You have some advantages of this approach. And first of all, simple A/B testing. We also can say that is crowdsourcing. We call it side-by-side. And here you can see two pictures of potential logo of TOLOKA. This year we performed rebranding, and because we are a global company, we invest really lots of resources in market research. If our logo will be good enough in, for example, India or South Africa, because we also work with these countries. And here you see two options, and the left one won. Also, you can perform crowdsourcing in social media management and marketing for collecting feedback, engaging with customers, building up relationships, and generating ideas and content. It's also a very nice source. And last but not least, surveys. It is also kind of crowdsourcing, and it is very important in surveys to use quality control methods, because it's hard to for performers when the survey is very long and they lose attention, and that's why you need some tricks to get good data. And let's talk about real cases, and let's deep dive in some cases. Let's start from healthcare. And of course, 2 years ago, COVID-19 appeared, and AI community rushed to show some powers of modern technology and modern approach. And they want to find method how to help doctors with diagnosis. But unfortunately, tools cannot be implemented. But why? Many models were proposed, and it was enough data from China, but data sets were labeled badly, and some of them were from a known source, and it turned out to be useless, but not only useless, even dangerous, because when we talk about diagnosis, it's very important to be right. And when you are not sure in the diagnosis, it can cause really dangerous consequences. And that's why data is important. And because of doctors have no time to label it, we cannot get good model that can predict diagnosis. One more positive, I think, example about how we can implement crowdsourcing for some research and collecting data. Researchers from Kazan University collected and annotated tweets for drug reactions. TOLOKA provided support. It was our grant program, and researchers collect data from Twitter, famous social net, and you can't implement model because you have slang, you have some rush, you have some mess inside Twitter, but via human, you can get reliable data, and you can get like all points or map of drug reactions. And here is the pipeline of this research. You train and selection your performers, then you ask them to annotate tweet. If it matches to the reaction, and if yes, if no, you have like some experts that decide. Another examples are from logistic. And first of all, it's object segmentation for self-driving car. Here you see some images from self-driving cars that is required to just build full self-driving car. And Yandex, one of our biggest client, it's biggest European company, have full self-driving car. And quality of data gives the quality of product. And here you see how complicated these images are. And you need to decompose into small pieces this task to get like proper data, to get clear instruction to labelers. And here you can see just simple pipeline of some data annotation, like you ask performers to mark up every object of category, like roads, transport, people. Then you ask other performers, is there any mistakes? And then you collect all information. If there are mistakes, you give it back, like you need to outline the objects one more time. And then you ask different performers to correct mistakes and to segment objects. And then you get final results, and you have photos highlighted with polygons. And to build these photos, you need lots of pipelines. It's the simplest one. And I want to tell just funny story. We tried to build up our first self-driving cars in summer. And then very important events like in autumn, would take place. But suddenly the snow appeared, and everything according to the picture changed. Like the streets are white, and you have like 3 days or a week to retrain your model. And this is very nice example of how data is important. When when your circumstances change, you need retrain it and retrain it fast. And one very nice example, we collaborate with an organization who is searching for missing people. And we have projects of photos where we ask our performers, is there a person in the picture? And it helps to find missing people. And it's a very important part of our social activity. And we very appreciate that we find real people who were missed. And some cases from environment protection. Of course, there are some problems with environment, and we can't deny it. And mobile internet made on-feed crowdsourcing a powerful tool for ecological monitoring. And for example, TOLOKAs help to raise awareness about waste disposal. And in 3 months, TOLOKAs managed to rate like 75,000 of trash cans in 58 regions of Russia. And it's enormous amount. And we can't even imagine how it would be made by one person, how much time they require to do this. And it's very, very great results. And we talked about some real cases, but when you want to get high quality data, when you want to apply your project, you need some methodology. We call it crowd methodology. It's a basic principles how to apply your project, how to build the pipeline. And I want to share these principles with you. Here are main components for effective crowdsourcing. First of all, you need to start with decomposition. Decomposition is approach when you have very big task and you need to split it into small pieces. Like the simplest the task is, the more quality you get. And it's the best approach. It's one of the main principles, because even if you have like very complex task, for example, for self-driving car, you need to split it into small pieces, and then you get high quality data. Second component is, of course, instruction. It should be clear, it should be direct, and it should be short. It helps your performers to understand your task clear. The next component is, of course, task interface. It should be clickable, it should be available on a smartphone or on the desktop, and you should think about it and you should always test it. Next is quality control. It's one of the most important parts to get quality data. You should control quality. And we have different mechanics how to control quality inside the platform. We also contribute in crowd science and try to find new mechanics to control the quality. For example, the most important, the most popular is post-verification, when you ask to perform one performer and one TOLOKA, and then you ask another to control the quality. Aggregation of the results, it's very beautiful math that is based aggregation techniques, and you can find more information about aggregation. For example, in our, we implement some methods of aggregation in our TOLOKA, in our crowd kit, we call it, I will send you a link, And there are some techniques that give you opportunity to aggregate results. And last but not least is incremental relabeling and pricing. Many things depend on pricing, and it should be smart because it will control your expenses, and it should be in the market. And here are the main components of crowdsourcing, and they are the most important. Moreover, we think that you need to manage in process, not people. And we think that crowdsourcing, it's an engineer task. And when you apply it as an engineer task, you get better results. And here are some methods how to apply it as an engineering task. For example, you can select performers for language, region, age, gender, task-specific skills, diverse filters. You can train them, you can perform some educational projects, some examination, and you can use some techniques for motivation. For example, you can give achievements, you can give extra payment. You can give like project level controls to prevent bots, some behavioral control, then TOLOKers can't click your task. And some hidden control tasks. And you need to aggregate your result and to analyze it. And there are several techniques how to do this. And it's like a scientific field where a lot of approach exists. And of course, people management as an engineer task. And when we talk about platforms, not about managed service, it's very ecological approach for TOLOKers when they can find the best task for them. And the routine is minimalized for people. And here are some benefits of our platforms. It's powerful API and it's open marketplace for performers and requesters. And to summarize and some conclusions, ML production requires stable, fast inflow on high quality data. And crowdsourcing is a tool for collecting and labeling data. And TOLOKA provides instruments and methodology for data collection and labeling pipelines. And quality, speed, and budget depend on methodology implementation. And we want to invite you to our tutorial called Crowdsourcing Natural Language Data at Scale hands-on tutorial. We will give a real practice on real data, and it will be, you get the real labeled data like in 5 or in 10 minutes, and it's also very cool. And we will talk about real cases, and moreover, we will talk about our crowd methodology, and we will share with you some techniques that can give you an opportunity to get more quality data. And we invite you to visit our website of TOLOKA Academy. We have variety of offers for you, from grant program to education pricing plan, when we give discounts to everyone who is affiliated with academia, and we want to popularize the crowdsourcing as method and to give some to contribute in scientific community. And now my colleague will show a 5 minutes demo, and I'll stop sharing and will ask Dmitry.
Yeah, thank you, Natalia. It was a wonderful speech. Let's move on to the demo. Yeah, I hope you can see my screen right now. So everything's fine. Let's start. Yeah, I'm Dmitry. I'm a crowd solutions architect at TOLOKA, and I have a little demo for you. We are going to solve the classical image classification problem. Is there a cat or a dog in the image? So here we have a prepared project, and it is ready for launch. So let's, I'll launch it in real time, and we will see in details what settings do we have here. Let's first of all take a look on what performers will see when they will do our task. So it seems that, yeah, I've started it. So here we can see how the task looks like. We have cards, and on each card we have a photo and the classes for markup. So it should be quite simple task, and I hope we will get the results soon. So the lookers just choose an option for a photo, like here's a cat, then here's a dog, and so on. Let's go back. Here we can see how many tasks do we have here. You may notice that we have something called control tasks. They are also known as honeypots. We use them for quality measurements and for control cheaters on the projects. So we have some specific rules on which we ban cheaters. So let's move on. Here we can see some another settings of the projects, like price for each task page, time limit, overlap. Overlap means how many performers will do each task. So if overlap is 3, then at least 3 performers will do each task. In the right side, we have our rule on which we ban people with a high error rate. So let's scroll up and reload the page. Yeah, it was just annotated in real time. We have annotated 12 assignments. So let's take a look at the results. So we are going to the accepted assignments, and we can see the response of a performer. So it looks like performers know something about cats and dogs. Everything looks correct. So here we can download raw results and then process them, or we can aggregate them with tools of our platform. So that's it. That's all I wanted to show you. So it was really fast, and the results looks pretty nice to me. So you're welcome to ask questions.
Yes, thanks for the talk. It's been very interesting. Personally, I knew a little about the concept of crowdsourcing and the types of services that TOLOKA offers to universities. Thanks very much. I'm sure our audience will be interested in everything you offer. To our audience, if you have any questions, you can submit them in Spanish and I will try to translate. Or even better, do it in English directly, write it down on the chat and I will check the questions. Please write it down in the chat section.
Or you can ask it like.
Yeah, just with your voice.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't want to open the microphone because we have people that is not very decent here. I'm sorry. Okay, I will open the microphone. However, if I hope I don't have to block everybody. Okay. Artemio Padilla asks, how would you compare TOLOKA to other crowdsourcing companies such as Leonbridge or Apple?
Oh, I just said, you can hear me, yeah?
Yeah.
These companies you mentioned, they apply managed service when you provide data and you have like, these companies have like a big hangar with people inside there and they just sit and label data like 10 hours a day and they do not have, it's like their job. And they have manager, but they give them a task and it's not an ecological approach to business. And when we talk about TOLOKA, it's a platform where every performer can choose the task and to prepare it, to make it in comfortable area and to it's the first advantage of TOLOKA. The second advantage of TOLOKA is that we have lots of quality techniques and you can get high quality data and when you apply these techniques. Moreover, we educate our clients how to get the best data you can. And the third advantage of TOLOKA, it's cheap because it's a platform. You don't have managers you need to pay. You have the technology as a platform and you have a methodology and it can save you, it can give you opportunity to save like large amount of money and time because we are scalable. It's the main advantages, I think, of
Dimitri Koryakin says that TOLOKA works 24/7.
Yeah, because we are international. Because we're international, we have TOLOKAs all over the world and it's scalable. It's like the big platform.
Right, thanks. Guillermo Cota asks, which obstacles have you encountered during the implementation of a project like this?
Can you please say one more time the question?
Please. Well, already it is it is written down in the chat, but I can read it for you. Which obstacles have you encountered during the implementation of a project like this?
Yeah, I think that it's about all the steps we need to make a project with high quality. So as I remember, Natalia showed you slides where some steps you need to do. So it's can be complicated to write the correct instruction and to filter performers and to control quality. So I think
the slide is broken. Yeah, we are talking about these components. And there is one question that is in the case of self-driving car, how often do we have to retrain the model to get better results? I think it's better to ask our analysts from self-driving cars. I think they have a group of analytics who constantly get more and more data and
yeah, I think I can say a little bit more because I have a project with self-driving cars, and they annotate their data anytime. So each day of week, so 24/7, and they have really big amounts of data to annotate. So I think they retrain and fine tune their models very often.
Yeah, and it depends on the place, in which city, in which roads, and it's very important part.
And there is another question. Looks like you have a lot of applications already. What would you say its next step for Toloka?
I think scaling, to become an international company. And thanks for the comment, because yes, we have lots of implementation, and we want to scale the market of data labeling, because in different countries it's not big enough, and we think we need to focus our attention on data, and this is our next step, and we try to popularize this, to educate market and to popularize the crowdsourcing.
There is a question, a little basic question. What's the role of the artificial intelligence in the big data, in processing big data? What's the role of artificial intelligence in the big data processing?
Is this question in general or in context of crowdsourcing?
Yes, I think so. It's in general. There must be something that is not very involved in the area.
No, so then you can say that it's really important, and it will be a general answer. But even in our automated processes, we have some AI instruments to lower price of data annotation. So it's really crucial to get the advantage on the market.
There's another question. It says, how large is the community of universities where you work for? I mean, how many universities are working with you?
You can find this information on our website, and we start half year ago working with universities, and we want to work more. and we want to scale our work with universities. And you can write me direct. I will be very happy to answer your questions. And I have some questions in my private chat. Can any person become a TOLOKA? Are there any special requirements? Practically everyone can become a TOLOKA, but there are some age issues, like you have to be 20 plus, or you have to be like age enough to be TOLOKA, because we do not work with children. It's illegal. And the question, is it possible to get more data from TOLOKA in order to test machine learning algorithms or neural networks, for example? Maybe I do not understand fully this question, but yes, TOLOKA is a tool for getting data, and you can automate the data labeling pipeline and get more and more data. And there are different sources of getting data, but the main source is humans, of course, and human labeling. Yes, and maybe.
All right, do you have any other question?
I think I answered.
All right.
Oh, is the data generated in each project exclusively to the project client, or can others use it? Of course, if it is your project, it's your data, you own it, and we don't have access to this data as a platform. It's fully your data and your property. There are some techniques when you can, for example, you have a lab and your colleagues work together on some project, and you can give access to your project for different accounts, but it's only your decisions and it's only your data. And when we talk, for example, for grant program, and you get a grant from us for your research, we ask you to open your data set. Like you get the data set, and after you get this data, you open it to the community, because we think it's an important part of accelerating the development of AI. And
all right, I have another question from Angel Luna. Is there any backup in case of any failure with data in TOLOKA?
Can you?
Let me write it down.
I'm not sure what is TOLOKA dataset fail.
Where did you store the data?
Yeah, you can store it on your computer, your cluster, or you can store it. We have like we collaborate with Azure, and the data is stored in Azure.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, and you have options. For example, for medical data, it's very important to storage it on your own clusters. And
Any other question? All right, well, thank you all for your participation, Natalie and Dimitri. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much for inviting us. We are very pleased and we're very happy. And you have my LinkedIn, and I will just don't hesitate to ask me any questions, and we will be very happy if you join our tutorial. It's worth seeing. Thank you very much, and I hope see you soon.
Yes, I take the opportunity to remind everybody that on October the 29th, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. will be the tutorial crowdsourcing natural language at a scale, a hands-on tutorial. Consult the webpage, TOLOKA.AI, /events, UNAM for more information. Dimitri already write down the link in those, and we have the QR here.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Thank you very much, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.